everyone, today's video is out on a wet and windy foreshore, but I do have some good finds. But some of them I'm not too certain what they are, so do take a look, and if you think you know any more information about them, please don't hesitate to comment. It's always very useful to get those. And thank you for those people who have been commenting on my previous videos. I'm always very happy to get some extra info on these finds. There is a little bit of a gale type wind in this video, so I apologise in advance, and I hope it just adds to the atmosphere. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy this outing mudlarking on the Thames foreshore in London. Can you see what I'm looking at down here amongst all those stones? It's just here. Beautiful glass bottle stopper. Beautiful glass Victorian bottle stopper. Nice and chunky. It doesn't have anything written on it, but it's a beautiful find. There's a bullet down here. It looks a tiny bit different to some of the other ones I've found. It's got that sort of little strip around the bottom of it there. See? I wonder why that is. Look, just here looks like a little ink pot. One of those penny pots or a pork pie. Little stoneware pot from the 1800s. An ink pot, I believe. I've just found this here and it looks like a bullet, but if it is, I've not seen one like this before. Seems to have markings on the bottom that would indicate that it's something military. So I've not seen one like this before. So I'll take that home and clean it off, and perhaps someone could help identify it. Possibly the bottom of a shotgun cartridge here. It's hard to see at the moment. Perhaps when I get it home and give it a little clean up, we'll be able to see. Well, this is pretty exciting. Can you see what I can see just down here? Yep, it's the tip of what looks like a pocket watch sticking out of the mud. So, as you can imagine, I am barely able to contain my excitement to see what the actual clock is going to look like. So excuse me a moment whilst I excavate it. This is very exciting. I found a few military Rolex or military issued Rolex pocket watches recently. I wonder if this is one of them. Let's have a look. Oh wow, look. My dream would be for there to be a name on it that I can research and sort of find some history about it, but let's see what it is. Well, it doesn't have the face, obviously. Let's go and give it a rinse. Okay, I'm going to rinse it off. Let's see what there is that remains of it. Let's see. See if there's anything on the back. Yeah, it's another military issued one, look. So I believe this is another military issued Rolex. That makes 3 I've found now. And I have to do a military Rolex special. So there's the markings. And that's the other side. Hey, this is the first one I found that's got actual numbers on it. Look. Oh wow, what a beautiful, beautiful find. It's drizzling a bit now. I'm going to put this in my pocket and put my camera away and carry on. But oh, that's got to be my find of the day. My third military pocket watch. Just found something here which looks pretty interesting. It looks like a plaque. Look. I can tell it's a plaque because it's got a little hole just there. Of course, now, to know. Oh, it's not a plaque, is it? It's some form of. Oh, it's like a ruler or something. A foldable ruler, slightly broken. Let's go and give it a clean in the river and see what there is of it. Interesting. For a minute I thought it was like a plaque for a door. So that is, yeah, nice. Again, it's drizzling, so I'm going to put the camera away, but have a little bit of a closer look when I get home. There's a little nest of bullets here, look, you can see, just being exposed in the mud. Let's have a look, see if they're fired or not. Yep, they are, which is good. Here we have them. Like 303 rounds. Oh, there you go. There's a piece of metal here which looks quite decorative. I'm going to give it a little wash. Although, because it's raining, it's a little hard to see anything much, so I think that taking it home and cleaning it off will be better. But look, that looks like it's got a bit of a design on it, unless I'm imagining things. Right, take it home and have a look and see what that's all about. Can you see what I'm looking at? I'm sure you can. I shall go in gently. There we are, look. It's the rim of a pipe bowl. Let's see what there is underneath. Oh, it looks like a pipe bowl with a kind of a fluted design. I wonder how much stem it's got. Let's get the mud away from the outside. There we are. Ah, yeah, there we go. It's like a kind of a fluted design on it. Let's give it a little rinse off. There we are. Oh, that's pretty. Have a closer look at it later. Can't really see it very well, but it's very pretty, and it's got a maker's mark on the spur just there. So here's another pipe bowl just here, just poking out. Let's see again what lies beneath. Is there a bowl? Or, I mean, well, we know there's a bowl, but is there a stem? That is the question. Let's see. Oh well, it feels a bit more hopeful than the other ones that I've been finding today. Let's see. Just give it a pull. Oh, here we are. Not a great deal, but something all the same. Just discovered this poking out. I thought it was like a ring at first, but I just pulled it out, and it looks like a Oh, it's some form of catch, isn't it, for a window? I thought it might be a really interesting key for a minute. Ooh, what have we got here? Looks like a key ring with Madame Two Swords on it. London. Let's have a look. Oh, and on the other side, we've got the happy tourists. 2013. I wonder how this got in the Thames. I'm going to do a little roundup of the items which are featured on today's video, which I found all in the same day. And I'm going to start with this pocket watch, which I was very excited, as you could see, to discover that it still had the numbers on. Because the other two which I found, which are here, there's one, and there's the other. There are no numbers, they've worn off. So on the back of this, there is the broad arrow, which indicates that it is military. And then there's GS, General Service, Mark II. And there's the serial number A, 75998, which I believe is just the serial number for the watchmaker, I think. I think they're Rolex. And these are the other two which I found. This one last year, and this one very recently, so recent that I've also got footage of me finding it, and I haven't even put it on a video yet, so I'll have to dig that out. Again, that's GS, General Service. Mark II, 29560, with a broad arrow there. So I'm very, very pleased with this. I wonder whose pocket it was in before it ended up in the mud. And it was probably issued in around World War II, I think. And here is this ruler here, or I'm not sure if that's the exact term for it, probably not, but of course it would have opened up at some point, but the hinge there is completely seized up. And since I've taken it out of the mud, it has of course dried out considerably, so I've put some oil on it to try and preserve it. As it dried out, some of the numerals also became a lot more apparent on the wood, and the little markings there. I'll turn it over, have a look at the other side. Somebody was obviously using that at some point, and then it fell out of their pocket into the mud, and there it stayed for a very long time by all accounts. Now I did find some bullets, these which are part of 303 rounds, I think, and this which I think is the end of a shotgun cartridge, but there's nothing actually on the end that I can make out. It might have worn off. And then there's this, which is quite puzzling. It does have some markings on the bottom there. It has the broad arrow as well. And it looks a little bit bullet-like, but I'm not convinced that it is. It looks as if it might have slotted into something at some point. So, does anybody know what this is? Can anyone identify this? I found a nice selection of pipe bowls, not too many stems, but these beautiful bowls more than make up for the lack of stems. And in particular, this one, which has all around its edge like a real collage of all the seasons of flowers and fruit. There's thistles there. That looks to be a bunch of grapes. There's some more thistles, some flowers. A beautiful little collage going all the way around the pipe bowl. Some other flowers there. And it also has a maker's mark there on the spur. That looks like an H. And then on the other side, looks like an M. There's also this one, which is a very pretty design. Here. And that also has a very distinct maker's mark there on the spur. That looks like a W or an M. And then on the other side, a C. And you can see there's a decoration going all down the stem as well. So very ornate. But you know, my favourite, which I'm keeping to last, this was a real surprise, and I only discovered this afternoon as I was washing these pipe bowls. It just goes to show, I'm sure some of you can identify with this. You go out, you find something in the mud, either in the Thames or you're metal detecting, and you pop it in your bag and then you forget about it for a while, and then you get everything out and give it a clean. And then you discover something really unexpected, and it's like discovering it all over again. I noticed there was a knobbly bit on this pipe bowl, and then as I got my magnifying glass and had a closer look, I noticed this little creature sliding out over the bowl there. And it is in fact a little fish, just there. You can see him. There's his tail up there and his fins and his little eye and his mouth. I mean, it also almost looks like a beak, but I think it is some form of depiction of a fish. It's absolutely glorious, such detail. So I have to say, I'm rather thrilled with that. So don't ever ignore a boring looking pipe bowl, because you just don't know what you might find lingering on it. In this case, a rather nice sea creature. I've had so many nice finds today that I'm not quite sure which one is my star one, but I think that it might be this. It was hard to tell what it was in the drizzle with all the mud on it, but of course when I got home and wiped it off, I discovered this this crest, like a heraldic crest, and I believe it's lead. On the other side, it's completely plain and flat. There's nothing on the other side. It's very crudely made. There's the lion there, and the unicorn, and then what looks like another lion on top, and then that lozenge in the centre. But the question is, where would it have come from? What was it used for? Some people have suggested a fire plaque put on walls to show the fire service that the building is insured, but I'm not sure. It just seems a little bit too small for that. And it's of course too big and too heavy to actually be worn on any kind of military uniform. So I would love to know what this comes from. So if you have any ideas, please let me know. And here's the rest of my finds. Nice little glass marble from a cod bottle, probably. A glass bottle stopper. This little stoneware ink jar, known as a penny pot, I think, or a pork pie. You may have seen when I found one in a previous video. From, I think, the 19th century, probably the second half of the 19th century. This, which looks like a catch from a window, nice and chunky, must have been a big window, or perhaps a lock from a door. And then lastly, are happy tourists who obviously went to visit Madame Tussauds in 2013 and had their photo taken. And here they are now, forever eternalised on a YouTube channel about Thames mudlarking. So a beautiful collection of finds on that drizzly, wet day. Just goes to show, don't let the weather put you off. Well, thank you very much for watching and have a great day. And yes, please do get back to me if you have any info about any of these finds. Thank you.
Open up the window. I'm breathing in the last of September. I can feel the wind blow, and the late summer sky is like a giant ember. Everything is turning into gold. When the autumn leaves are playing chase, it puts a smile up on my face. They leave their branches one by one and whirl around there just for fun. Some are faster, some are slow, and some are high and some are low, dancing through the last days of September. Since I was a little child,